In sending the case back to the trial chamber, the appeals court found that the lower court erred in not considering whether the circumstances of Gbagbo's health had changed during the course of his detention since 2011. While a number of the 72-year-old's grounds for appeal were rejected, the court also found that despite the presumption of innocence, the trial chamber erroneously considered the fact that Gbagbo had denied responsibility for the crimes he'd been charged with in determining that he should remain behind bars pending the conclusion of his trial.
The Appeals Chamber considers that the errors mentioned previously have materially affected the impugned decision. In light of these errors, the Appeals Chamber decided to reverse the impugned decision and directs the trial chamber to carry out a new review as to whether Mr. Gbagbo should continue to be detained or should be released with or without conditions. Until this matter has been so decided, Mr. Gbagbo shall remain in detention.
The appeals chamber also noted that while Gbagbo's trial began in January 2016, the process of collecting evidence by the prosecution continues today, inferring that his trial will take some time, as the broader role of Gbagbo in the reconciliation process now underway in Côte d'Ivoire was brought into sharp focus by a former mediator to the conflict.
Côte d'Ivoire requires a process of national reconciliation. President Gbagbo, who is now on trial at The Hague, is critical to the achievement of the process of national reconciliation in Côte d'Ivoire. If you don't have him contributing to the process of national reconciliation, Côte d'Ivoire is going back to civil war. So you might celebrate that justice is served by having Gbagbo in The Hague. There will be a civil war in Côte d'Ivoire as a consequence of your victory. So I'm saying you have to balance these two things in the way we try to balance them here.
A matter we raised with the United Nations.
Ideally, the United Nations hopes that countries can achieve both peace and justice as they try to move beyond the problems of war and conflict. With regard to Côte d'Ivoire, as you know, there was a UN peacekeeping mission there which wrapped up its work in the belief that the society was on its way to repairing relations among the various groups. We think that that reconciliation has been moving ahead, and we hope that it will continue to do so, regardless of developments on the ICC front.
The UN spokesperson went on to tell me that they hoped all the current and former leaders of Côte d'Ivoire would play a helpful role in the country's continued reconciliation, and that it was not contingent on where they are currently located for them to act in the best interests of the country. Sherman Bryce Pease, SABC News, New York.